Hasn't been the smoothest process, and this isn't the first time. You guys mentioned NARAL. NARAL actually raised their own concerns with this initiative, worried that it would impact reproductive rights. Now Progress Now, independent study that shows that it can't pay for itself. So, you know, when you talk to Progress Now, what they're saying is that the opposition is the responsible thing to do, that this isn't the right time for it. Well, it's not so much that it's not the right time.
It never is it? It never is.
Maybe that this could be perfected
well,
a little
I'll
bit
answer
more
that,
before.
yeah.
So this isn't the first time, right?
Yeah, so what NARAL's interested in is public funding of abortion. Our issue is not about abortion. That's an issue to be decided by the voters at some other time. We didn't do what NARAL wanted, and they have one issue, and fine, they can have it.
But I think it's important to note that Colorado reduced abortions 42% when we provided free access to long-acting reversible contraceptives. And with ColoradoCare, all of the 350,000 people without insurance, the 700,000 people who are underinsured would have free access to long-acting reversible contraceptives. So the need for abortion would decrease dramatically.
Anyway, I disagree with you that this has not run smoothly. You know, we decided to put this on the ballot because the insurance company lobbyists killed it in the legislature. They have that power over our legislators. It takes 99,400 signatures to get on the ballot in Colorado. With no money and no organization, we got 158,000 signatures. And the reason is, when people hear what our plan is, they say, where do I sign up? And that's why we're leading in the polls, that's why we're going to win, and that's why big insurance, and these are companies in Minnesota, Indiana, Connecticut, and Oakland, California, are terrified of our plan. And I don't even think they're that worried about Colorado. We're only 4.8 million people under Medicare age. They know that when we make this work, Illinois will do it, New York will do it, California will do it, Florida will do it, and they've decided it's cheaper to fight in Colorado. They can buy more votes and buy more politicians for a few $1 million in Colorado than California, and that's what's going on here. That's proof to me. The fact that they're pumping in these billions, I think, demonstrates what their own industry newsletters say. We're leading in their polls, and they are terrified of the competition from Colorado.
And I do want to address your concern about the Colorado Health Institute, because I think the major flaw in their report is that they estimate that the federal government would cut our Medicaid funding 37%. They are estimating that the federal government will intentionally undermine the ability of Colorado to do a legitimate experiment by cutting our funding 37%. Additionally, they estimate that there would be no savings from switching of incentives into a single-payer system. And even economists who don't think that a single-payer system is the be-all, end-all, estimate that there would be at least a 0.5% per year savings. Now, if they just give us back the Medicaid money, which of course is a requirement for ColoradoCare to be implemented, if they just acknowledge what happens if we get the Medicaid money, we are $2 billion in surplus the first year alone, having cut $3.5 billion in profits from the insurance industry. And if you look at the plan over 8 years, we're still sustainable. It's not until 8 years that we need to ask to raise a premium and not do the 17% increase that we're going to see next year alone. And so I respect the work of the Colorado Health Institute. If you read the entire report, you'll see that it's based on assumptions. Read those assumptions carefully and see if you really believe those assumptions are authentic. You know, they assume there'd be an $800 million savings in hospital profits. Well, I can tell you data shows in 2014, Health One alone made a $665 million profit. So I think they've done some gross underestimating of potential savings, and also have really done us a huge disservice by implying basically that the federal government will undermine our effort by cutting Medicaid funding 37%.
Are we in a progressive civil war? I mean, we're standing outside progressive progress.
No, we are in a, I don't want to say that because...
They said it.
Oh, well, I'm sorry they said that, because here's the thing. You know, cancer is nonpartisan. Healthcare is nonpartisan. And we are the only developed country in the world that does not guarantee access to everyone in the population, regardless of ability to pay. and we still spend over 50% more than all those other countries. And if you follow the money, it's profit. It's profit in healthcare that our government passes laws to protect. Our government passes a law saying we can't negotiate with pharma for drug prices. You know why pharma is opposing 69? Because we will ask for Medicaid pricing for drugs as part of our waiver. Well, that would be detrimental to pharma, wouldn't it? And that would increase, if you look at the assumptions on the Colorado Health Institute, that would increase our profitability, meaning not our profitability, but decrease the cost to the people of Colorado for health care. And so the long story short is that we have a group of people who are afraid that coming out and saying health care is a human right and we're going to try and make it happen in Colorado will be politically unpopular and will not get them the money they need to win the elections they need to keep the majority in the legislature, with which they will continue to not do. Okay.
I think that's big pharma.
Yeah.
Destroy our press conference.
It's big medicine.
I'll tell you, Joe, what the Civil War is. There is a Civil War. The Civil War is between the people of Colorado who want this and the out-of-state insurance companies who are pumping in millions of dollars to buy votes and defeat it. That's the war going on.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. I want to follow up on something that TR said. He said we'll win, and I believe we will, but we'll only win. Amendment 69, ColoradoCare, will only win if the people come out to make it win. The tens of millions of dollars that the national health insurance industry is going to spend in Colorado to defeat Amendment 69 has to be overcome by shoe leather and people making phone calls to voters to get the voters to turn out. If volunteers don't come out for ColoradoCare between now and November, if voters don't come out to vote in November, then ColoradoCare will fail, and it will fail because of these tens of millions of dollars that will probably pour in, mostly from out of state, because as Dr. Aguilar said, they want to stop this right here, right now in Colorado, before it spreads like wildfire to other states and across the country.
Okay, we've probably got time for one quick question, if there is one.
Can I answer a little bit about progressives? You're asking about progressives, whether or not we're warring with each other. I would agree with Senator Aguilar. First of all, Progressive Democrats of America that endorsed this long before the first of the year. We represent thousands, hundreds of thousands of people all over the country in chapters from Maine all the way to Hawaii. So there are a lot of good progressives who stand firmly in the camp of single payer. But I also want to tell you that there are forces at work here that call themselves progressives because that's the way to get money and to get influence. And they aren't truly in the progressive camps. And you have to ask them what their background are. I mean, I looked up a little bit more about Progressive Now, Progress Now nationally.
1, 2, 3, 4, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And saw that Jared
1, 2,
Polis
3,
at one
4.
time was a part of this. So probably some questions need to be directed there. I also think, look at Colorado, what happened in the primaries. Take a look. 70% of those who caucused on the Democratic side did so for Bernie Sanders. And a totally different agenda for this country and for this state. And the reality is you can vote a Bernie ballot in Colorado this year if you want to. You don't have to wait for our revolution to kick off on August 24th. You don't have to wait. You can vote a Bernie ballot. We have universal health care on the ballot. We have a minimum wage on the ballot. We have the chance, we have the opposition to raising the bar on the ballot. There's a way to vote a Bernie ballot in Colorado, and I expect that Bernie anti-fracking, if it makes the ballot. And the reality is we have a chance to move progressive issues in Colorado like we never have before. And trust me, Bernie's voters will turn out for that.
Okay, we got to make way for the next press conference. But Senator Aguilar,
Sanders will support this measure.
He definitely
he does. Yeah.
Will he come to Colorado and endorse it?
Yes.
Well,
The answer is yes.
we're in negotiations with Progressive Democrats of America to get him here. Yes.
So Senator Aguilar, T.R. Reed, Jeff Hart, and Donna Smith are all available if anybody wants to talk to them individually.
And we'd like to hear what they
otherwise,
say
we want to
here
make room
in
for
their
our colleagues.